Sunday night football, it is the Houston Texans on the road at the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, this is brought to you by our good friends over at Bet365 each and every week here on lineups. Guys, if you don't have the out over there, you need to get it. If you live in a Bet365 market, they're running promos and specials every single day. Cool stuff for Monday Night Football, cool stuff for Sunday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, all of that. And it is definitely a place you can go in and find bets that you don't see at some of the other books out there. So, Noops, we talk about it each and every week, but it is worth repeating. If you live in a market out there, one, you should have outs at everywhere you basically have, that you can. But definitely, if you're not one of those people that wants 5-6 books, I get it. Sometimes that's overwhelming. If you only like 2 or 3, if you're in a Bet365 market, they should be one of your 2 or 3.
Absolutely. The more outs, the better. But again, Bet365 is one of the most valuable books you can have. It's not just their offering, it's the prices. A lot of high vig markets like touchdown score and props like that. Bet365 isn't afraid to put out a little bit of better number, to not take quite as much juice as a lot of these places. And again, the creativity. We talked about the deli menu. There is nobody with a bigger menu than 365.
So right now we are sitting 3.5 in favor of Kansas City across the board, a very low 41.5 to 42 total. The reason for that could be that here comes Houston into town, and it is a very, very good defense. And on the Kansas City side, even though Patrick Mahomes is still playing at a high level, Noops, there's just a little bit of funkiness, a little bit of wonkiness in that offense that hasn't quite figured it out. And here we are in week 14, them playing for their lives, and every single game is for the Chiefs to be able to make or miss the playoffs.
This is a really tough spot for me because 2025 Noops thinks we should be hammering the Texans. But previous to 2025 Noops remembers the Chiefs and how good they are in big moments like this, and how Andy Reid and these guys seems to just pull performances out of nowhere in these spots. But I'm waiting to see what happens with the offensive line. I think the biggest problem for Kansas City here is Trey Smith, their right guard, and Jawan Taylor, their right tackle, are questionable. And if even one of those guys misses against Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson, and this Texans defense that is an absolute nightmare, I think it's got to be Houston here. I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but why aren't we betting Houston here?
So, Noops, back-to-back T&Cs. We'll see what happens today with both of those guys. And, oh, by the way, they moved Simmons, their starting left tackle, to IR on Monday. So they could actually be down 3 starting offensive linemen against a team that has a top 5 pressure rate, and in comes Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, who have 10.5 and 11 sacks on the season, respectively. There was a 4.5 earlier in the week.
Wow.
I took the banana in the tailpipe. I took the 4.5 points with Houston.
Good for you.
Not a huge difference between 4.5 and 3.5. I think 3.5 is still fine on the other side of a field goal. But Noops, so with the back-to-back DNPs for these guys, even if they play, they're far from 100%, right? So they're going to be far, far, far from good. And that might work against a lot of other teams. It is not going to work against Houston and how they go about playing defense. And the thing is when you have a guy like Stingley, you can blitz, even if you don't, you can bring your front four that's going to get pressured. You can blitz, because you feel comfortable with Stingley in man coverage. Like, you're fine with Stingley on Rashee Rice. You don't care about that at all. And so I think this could end up being a nightmare scenario for Mahomes. I actually sprinkled a little bit on the money line as well. I think Houston could win this thing outright. And it's crazy for me to think. And I think this is maybe one of those deals where my brain should just go, this is the buy low spot on the Chiefs, Matt. What are you doing? This is the buy low spot on the Chiefs. But I don't know, man. I have just not seen it with my eyes, and it's just hard for me to get there on the other side of a field goal. If this was 2.5, maybe we're having a really, really different conversation. But on the other side of a field goal, with that defense for Houston, with that offensive line for Kansas City, I can't see them winning at margin.
No, I'm disappointed I missed the 4.5. I think that's an absolutely great bet there. Again, 3.5 is probably still a good look. I thought this would be like 2.5, 3. And it's like you said, I don't know how to feel about the Chiefs. I look at them. They don't look good, but I still have a ton of respect for, the infrastructure there. And Again, maybe this is the week Spagnuolo finally remembers how to get this defense to play well. It's not like the Texans offense has been lighting the world on fire. I mean, Nico Collins has been better. Woody Marks looks like he's settled in as a pretty decent running back for them. And, Stroud's okay, but if this game really gets to be a rock fight, if we head into the fourth quarter and it's like 13-10, do you feel comfortable with only 3.5 points of the Texans with Mahomes and what they can do kind of at the end of games? And again, I feel nuts because based on what I've seen this season, we should be fading this Chiefs teams, but I just have too many memories of them being down late in games and finding a way to come back and win them. So it's just such a tough game, but it's definitely Texans or pass.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of, if you want to believe it, like there's just a lot of stuff that thinks this could be rough for Mahomes here. I mean, Will Anderson, by the way, I know he doesn't get the love. I think it's maybe because it's the Texans and it's, whatever, and he doesn't get like all the pub and stuff. He is averaging 2.64 seconds to pressure. Like, if you guys have listened, like, wow. So one of the problems that you've had with Jalen Hurts this year, and one of the problems that you hear about with like a Caleb Williams and some of these dudes where they hold the ball too long, Jalen Hurts over this like funk that they've had is like nearly at 2.9 seconds, like, holding the ball. You hear that with Caleb Williams is like in the 2.8s and 2.7s. That would mean Will Anderson is basically getting to them every single time that, that they drop back to throw the ball. It's absurd what he has been doing so far this year. And he's going to be going up against backups. Like, good freaking luck, man.
It's a really, really tough spot. And you're right. I honestly forgot that the left tackle's out already. But if they're missing the right side of that line, look at Chiefs team total unders, try to get this Texans defense to score a touchdown. Honestly, there could be a chance for a sack, fumble recovery, an interception, something like that. It's just, again, the more I talk about this, the more I feel like I should bet the Texans. I just can't get myself there.
The other bet I made in this is kind of a play on what we're just talking about. I played Mahomes over 22.5 rush yards. Yeah. He is one of the best there is. Now, I think he's going to get sacked in this game for sure, but he is also one of the best there is and best there ever will be at feeling pressure and knowing how to just friggin' like go and do that weird Patrick Mahomes run where he likes to, you look up and like, did he just run for 17 yards? Like how the hell did that happen? You're prone to running more whenever you're feeling more pressure. And the good thing is for this bet is if they don't get home, it will create running lanes. And there is almost no quarterback better than Mahomes at finding those little lanes and going and grabbing what the defense gives him and stuff. And so this is predicated on me thinking that this defense is going to get a ton of pressure on Mahomes. Mahomes is really good at feeling the pressure and scrambling as it is anyway. It wouldn't surprise me if we look up and Mahomes has 40 rushing yards in this game because he's had to take off 8 or 9 times, in this thing. And so I thought 22.5, given the offensive line situation and given the matchup, is a little bit too low for this. So over 22.5 rush yards for Mahomes.
No, I like that. And the more you're thinking about it, this is an idea I'm just having right now. Maybe look at some Chiefs wide receivers under their longest receptions. Again, with the pressure, it's going to be a lot of quick passes. There's not going to be chances for Mahomes to really push the ball down the field. And again, I need to go back and double check some of these numbers, but I'm seeing Rashee Rice, his longest receptions, 22.5. Xavier Worthy is 17.5. Travis Kelce is 19.5. That Kelce number is almost certainly something I'm going to bet. I mean, I'd have to go back and look. I don't know if he's caught a 20-yard pass all season, let alone what's going to be in this game where, again, the ball is going to be coming out. I think it's going to be a lot of quick, short passes. So I love all these angles. And, again, this is a great way to handicap. Try to figure out what the game's going to look like. Figure out some key matchups, and then what's going to happen to that. Again, with the pressure, Mahomes is going to have to run. They're going to have to be quicker passes. So keep trying to find some ways to attack that. I think you could come up with some interesting combinations.
40, just – again, to throw out there, like if you like to just throw pizza money bets, whatever, 40 plus yards from Mahomes is plus 350, 3.5 to 1. Again, it wouldn't surprise me if he has to scramble 8 or 9 times in this game. And that puts that 40 number well within reach. So just something to consider as well as you put together your Sunday night football bets. Guys, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. Everything we do absolutely free here on the channel. Let us know in the comment section what your favorite bet of the week is. Anything you absolutely hate. What's your favorite player prop? Appreciate you guys being with us as always. For Noops, I am Matt. Good luck on all your Week 14 bets.
Bet $5, get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose, with Bet365 Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 21 plus only. T&Cs apply. In app only.